temple. These sessions are about positivity for yourself, positivity for us as a community, and as we all practice positivity, it's making the world a better place. So we're going to start by entering the temple and just having a moment to connect with the awesomeness within us. So if you're there on the live stream, I invite you to start to take some breaths and settle your mind. Find what is wise or good within yourself. And know that that part of you deserves so much attention and love every day. And we're just setting aside some time now to really give that part of us the attention and love that it deserves. Each breath that you take, imagine yourself being more present, more ready to give the goodness within you the love and attention that it deserves. Notice your state of mind and imagine yourself feeling more ready to feel good, to feel aware, to be thoughtful or transformative. So we begin these sessions with a dedication. That we want to dedicate this time to your best self. Dedicate this time to growth, to wisdom, to transformative attitudes. You know, many of us know that you can practice peace. Some of us know that you can practice confidence or calm. But let's dedicate this time to not just practicing some qualities, but to practice the pure ability to transform, to be aware, to step out of old habits and choose who we want to be. So I just invite you all to take a few breaths and dedicate this time to that idea, empowering yourself. And as you empower yourself, it brings more peace, more happiness, more love and kindness to those around you. As your words become more empowering and your thoughts become more empowering, it becomes contagious. So you imagine everyone you care about. Also, this session is a gift of wisdom, peace, and transformation for all of them. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and grab a seat. We've got some people here on the live stream. Rebecca says greetings to everybody. Lemon Wire taking some timestamp notes. Thank you so much. And Ekis says, hey yo, thanks for streaming again. You got this. Ekis, thanks for the encouragement. Okay, it's great to have everybody here. Those of you here in the temple, those of you here on the live stream, and those of you who'll be watching later. I just want to point out the reason that I do these sessions is that it's a reminder for me to be extra careful with my thoughts. to take some time to meditate and cultivate and speak the awesomeness that I'm becoming. And my intention is to give the same for you, to bring transformative peace, happiness to every one of you. And ultimately, what really motivates me is a vision of a world where every person is free from any bad habits, emotional habits, mental habits, and everyone's choosing who they want to be, and everyone's helping each other to be that best version of themselves. That's what drives me. I hope that's an exciting idea that drives you too. And that thought can motivate a stronger transformation and empowerment within yourself. So, here we go. Welcome, everybody. So, the theme for tonight was to be your better self. Before you all arrived, I was asking, do we want tonight to be more practices and meditations or more theory and discussion? And we had a pretty open set of answers. And someone asked for a crash course in everything good. So that's the theme I'm going to be going for. Just exploring everything I've found that's helpful. The foundations of it, and some practices, not just the ideas, but giving ourselves some time to practice. So anyone who's here in the temple or anyone who's here on the chat, please feel free. Ask questions, respond. If I say something and you're not sure how it applies to you, ask me. If I say something and it sounds unrealistic or impossible, if I'm saying it, it's because I think it, or I know it is a achievable practice that is definitely happening. Some spiritual places, they make far out promises, and then you ask them, oh, who do you know who's done that? And they're like, oh, none of us have done that. Everything I'm saying is something that I'm certain is real and achievable with the right techniques. So please clarify anything I say if it sounds too far out. I want this to sound practical and doable. So many of us know that there are nice relaxation techniques, ways to relax the body. Many of us know that if someone is kind or encouraging to you, that it can make you feel more confident or more at ease. Some of us know that when you practice relaxation techniques, say every day, you actually train yourself to have this greater sense of peace. And you may also train yourself that you start thinking, hey, I'm this person that can step into peace anytime I need to. Many of us know that when someone is kind or encouraging to us, it can reach us, it can help us, it can lift us up. And some of us know that when you speak kindly to yourself or with encouraging words, it can also transform your state of mind and transform your perspective. Now, yeah, it's not just as simplistic as that. Sometimes someone can say something nice to you or encouraging, and you might be like, no, I'm not. It's the same thing when you say nice things to yourself. There's an art form about how to receive positive comments, how to give helpful words to others, how to give helpful words to yourself, and how to receive helpful words to yourself. And I'd invite every one of you to start to think of yourself as an artist. You're beginning, or maybe you're already on the journey to practice. How do you talk to yourself in ways that are kind, that are warm, that are empowering? Watch closely how you talk to yourself and see what you program yourself with. And know that every word, every moment is a program. I also invite you to see yourself as an artist. Every word, every interaction you have with others is painting on their heart, is painting on their mind. And when we're aware of that, we can try to make the world more beautiful every day, to bring more confidence or joy or wisdom to others. Now, I invite you all just to take a moment to think of yourself as an artist, someone who's practicing how to give kind words to yourself and others, and also practicing how to receive kind words, to take on positive ideas. When you hear a transformative idea, practice internalizing it, practice feeling it. And I said being an artist, so be creative with it. Sometimes you might want to dance into a positive idea. Sometimes you might want to meditate into it. Sometimes you might want to celebrate into it. Sometimes you might want to intellectually see the truth of it and decide that it's part of your axioms. It's the foundation of how your mind works. Sometimes you might want to hug a positive thought into yourself. Be an artist. Be creative with your mind. Creative with how you receive goodness. Creative with how you continue to give goodness to yourself. And with the words that you give to others. So I invite you all just to take a moment to see yourself as that artist. And if an artist isn't an image or an idea that's nice for you, maybe think of yourself as an actor of positivity, or a games programmer of positivity, or as a leader of positivity. So I'm just going to be quiet for 10, 20 breaths. I want everyone just to feel themselves practicing being creative with the impact you put on others and onto yourself, and with the way you receive positivity. So I just noticed on the live stream, Lemon Wire encouraging people to ask and share your thoughts, posting that on Twitch and on YouTube. Thank you so much. Go Team Awesome, helping us spread this positivity. And Rebecca Lynn has said, yes, we're all artists. Living as an artist, it's her artist's opinion. That's really helpful. And Lemon Wire says, they think creativity comes in every form you can creatively imagine, and it's good to bring it back to your breath. Some people might wonder, why do I keep mentioning breath? And, I don't have a great reason. I've just noticed that focusing on an idea, I can make it really powerful. And somehow, combining that with my breath, it's like an anchor. So if I say to everyone, be peaceful, or if I say, be peaceful. Maybe the second one, where I made my voice more peaceful, you might have felt it for a little bit. But then if I say, okay, now we're going to take peaceful breaths. Every breath, try to feel the peace in each breath. And at the start of each breath, rededicate to it. This breath, I'm going to feel more peaceful. So I don't know about you, but that was 3 breaths for me. I breathed kind of deeply and slowly. And by the 3rd breath, I was feeling really good. So it's kind of this superpower to take an idea or a feeling and breathe into it. And I invite you to think of this superpower as something that you always have available. Any moment you need, whatever's going on, just knowing you can always step into focusing on something with the breath. If you notice some unhelpful reaction within yourself, just for a moment, breathe into something else. Peace, stillness, confidence, hilariousness. Just, you always have available something wonderful. And the more you practice just stepping into that anytime you need, or even more than any time you need, many times a day, so you are like a super empowered positivity. The more you do that, the easier it becomes. And the less time you spend in unhelpful mindsets, or in mindsets you haven't chosen, the less time you spend in them, and the more time you spend in the mindsets you choose, the more liberated you are, the more you step out of old habits and move in the ways that you choose to be. I would love to see on the live chat and on the people here, can I see a wave or a nod of your head if you have made any positive feelings or like practiced anything good, whether it's peace or presence. We got someone throwing out gingerbread men. We got a nod. We got another nod. We got some more nods. We got some thumbs up. All right. Lemon Wire says they've created calm, ready, steady, focus. All right. Now I also want to see a wave or a nod. Does anyone have any mental habits or reactions that you've ever noticed that aren't great? Okay, I can see one person nodding. It's good to be in the presence of so many enlightened beings. So Ollie, I think for you and I, we can see there are parts of ourselves where giving those places a chance to step out of those other habits and step into something else. Step into peace and then choose what you want to do instead, or practice how you'd like to react in those scenarios. There are parts of us where there's room to be more wonderful. For the rest of you who don't have any of those negative parts, it's such an honor to be around you then, all the positive practice you've done. Creek's shooting out. Oh, we missed it. Creek, you want to give us another one? Hey. So yeah, I also have a feeling maybe all of us have at least some little moments or little reactions where we see there's space that we'd like to change it. And some of us may even have some things that recently have been bigger that have not felt good, where there's room to do something else, to be more creative, to be an artist. So I want to now keep it real. You know what I just said sounds great. Be an artist, make yourself sweet and lovely all the time. Yay. But and for some people, you're in a state of mind where you're like, yes, 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 I'm excited to do that. I can feel all the ways I'm going to practice being great. And that's wonderful. And then for some of us, we might be like, oh, yeah, but what about when I get stuck in this other thing? Or I don't even believe I can do that because I really am blah. And to that, I just want to say that I started with that idea of us being artists. And I would invite you to just look more carefully at your heart and mind and your thoughts, your current programs. And know that when a not helpful program kicks in, you can come back to the breath. Maybe just breathing will settle everything. And then after you've been in that stillness for a minute, you then want to choose. Maybe just breathing, some people will find they're still doing the blur. So maybe you want to wiggle your toes while you breathe and imagine your toes laughing. Maybe you want to do some walking meditation outside, and while you breathe into peace, just try to see whatever beauty you can see. Just shifting your focus out of those unhelpful habits. But even more powerfully than just being able to stop it is having awesome positive things that you've practiced or imagined too. So, for example, before I started meditating, I was very angry. And then I learned about kindness meditation, and I thought the idea of a world where everybody cared was much more wonderful than the world that I was in. And so every day I'd sit and meditate on kindness and grow this feeling of love and positivity towards others. And that was nice to appreciate and see the good in the people around me that I maybe hadn't been able to see or feel good towards. But what was really magical was when I'd made that feeling so good that I then thought about the people who'd been pretty bad to me. I had this big feeling of love and compassion that I had practiced. And it was just so big that when I thought about them, all I had was just, I used to think of it as like this giant pot of compassion. And I'd just pour the love into them. And it felt so good to just be filling myself up with compassion. So likewise, practicing joy, practicing tranquility, practicing kindness, practicing concentration while learning, practicing feeling good on the sports field, practicing feeling artistically expressive, or whatever the parts of yourself where there might be some part of you that's stuck, letting yourself imagine and feel what the alternative will be is an amazing thing. If you can make that one part of you big, It's like a card up your sleeve. When life gives you the wrong cards, hey, here's my secret power card of infinite compassion that I practiced. Or here's my little inner giggles of peace that my inner demons, when they swallow that card, they start giggling too. Alright, I feel like I wove into a bunch of things just then, thinking of stuff that I've shared with some of you over the past few months and relating it to what had been said. So yeah, I was mentioning we can practice peace. And the more we practice it, the more it becomes part of us. We can practice any kind of positivity, and it becomes part of us, and it also becomes something that we can step into because we've empowered it. I mentioned noticing how you talk to yourself and how you talk to others, and you can be an artist, and you can become more awesome with the thoughts that you design, with the things you program. And you can get really good with ways to step out of that doesn't help you. And you can get really good at having awesome positive things that can overcome anything else. And we also mentioned that the breath is this beautiful anchor that allows you to go deeper into something you're practicing. Or it allows you to just be still and let the mind and emotions just be still. So that's kind of the summary of what we talked about so far. I'm just going to be quiet for a little bit if anyone wants to ask or say anything.
Can you maybe talk a little bit about how to not let yourself kind of be brought down when you're trying to be there for somebody and they're having just a really hard time?
That's a really beautiful question. So when you want to be there for someone and they're having a hard time, obviously life has many situations where what you just said could fit. So I'm going to say a few different things and see which ones seem like they could fit with the person you're thinking about. So in general, what I think about in these situations is that we can kind of rub off on each other, and if someone's feeling down and you want to be there for them, if you also go down with them, it's not good for you, and it's probably also not good for them. I've explored many different states of mind and ways of being, and I had a time where I was like, hey, I'm just going to be purely enlightened all the time and shine that out to others. And I had a few people sometimes say, like, you're so far away from here. And so I decided, hey, I'm going to go into stuff with people. And maybe there was a few people who were like, oh yeah, thanks. But actually, the number of people who I could help when I did that was tiny compared to when I was just shining the positivity. It also wasn't good for me. And so in my journey, I've found by choosing to keep my focus on positivity, strength, and enlightenment, and then being able to shine that positivity out to others, is the way that's been most helpful. And yes, there's nuances to that. If someone's feeling down, when I talk to them, I want to really let them know that I care and that I do understand. But I want that to come from this place of strength inside myself. And yeah, you asked, hey, what about if you start getting down? And then my focus was, hey, go back up. And that might sound simplistic, but I kind of mean that. If you keep your focus on practicing the strength, the peace, the love, the wisdom that you want to give to people, if you keep your focus on that, that's where your mindset will go. And then you'll have more of that to give to others. So there's one possible answer. Another possible answer might be maybe the ways you're being for them is getting you down. Perhaps you could try something else. Maybe you want to hug them. Maybe you want to dance with them. Or maybe go for a walk with them while you're talking about stuff. Sometimes talking about heavy things while you're walking is it's a lot lighter. Depending on the person, how receptive they are, how the conversations are going, perhaps you could talk to them about practicing different states of mind. And then you could ask them what they would like to practice. Or you could tell them stories. Hey, you've made some friends who you've seen practice peace or practice happiness, and it's transformed them. And carry.
I think that they've fallen into depression right now.
I think everything I said still applies. If it's serious, I hope they have some professional support, and that they have access to good professional support. But everything I said was, I'd still wish for you with them is to be that source of strength, of peace, of goodness. If you imagine, I said before that the breath can be an anchor. You focus on peace. And you said fallen into depression. Sometimes I've experienced people describe that as kind of like they threw their anchor into a black hole and they just keep focusing on the black hole and it just draws them in and in and in more. And so you could be the source of hey, let's look over here for a little bit. And they might go back in, but they're a little bit less deep in it. And then next time they talk to you, and then you might go for a walk with them or do some dancing or running. Physical exercise for many people is enough to shift their mindset. Perhaps they might have an insight of, hey, I've been focusing on that and saying that to myself so much. I'm actually going to transform how I talk to myself. And, for people who are really deep in depression, they might be like, oh, that sounds rubbish. But I definitely know of many people who were deep in depression, had that insight, decided to reprogram their mind, refocus what they were going to focus on, and it was gone. So in some scenarios, that might be enough not just to work, but to be amazing. In some scenarios, that might be enough to help a little bit. In some scenarios, it might not help. But at least giving them those options. And if they spend time with you and they feel cared for from you, and they also see a sense of peace or inner well-being with you, I think it's much more likely that they will have some time in well-being or peace or even joy. So yeah, I go back to my first answer to your question is how do you deal with it? Is I encourage you to dedicate yourself to inner peace, well-being and joy. Cultivate a deep strong sense of something good in yourself, so that you have that presence.
Thank you. I feel like I'm working towards that.
Wonderful. And every one of us is going to keep encouraging you and loving you. And maybe you want to bring your friend here sometime.
I'll try.
Awesome. I'm going to just check the live stream. I noticed there was a lot of comments. So Rebecca said it is a superpower, something we can do on the world. And Rebecca wishes they could have more control of things outside of themselves. So that's a really good point. The things that we can control are within ourselves. Sometimes people get into this state where they feel like they can't control the things within themselves. But I invite you to just keep thinking that you can control the things within yourself. The more you think that, the more you practice that, the more that will happen. You know, I said people are pulled into this black hole. But then sometimes people will notice, oh, I can make myself feel a bit better by spending time with someone who energizes me, or by laughing, or by smiling, or by exercising. And so the more empowered you get, I guess my motivation for these sessions is ultimately I want every one of us to get to the point where we more than feel, more than know that we have complete control of everything within ourselves. That I hope that's an image, an attitude, a mindset that every one of you has with yourself. Complete control of things within yourself. Then you get amazing at that, and then that's something you can share with others. So Rebecca was saying she wishes she had more control of things externally. So many people find when they transform some things within themselves, external things will change too. If I look at one of my blatant examples, kids always used to tease me, and I thought everybody hated me, and then everybody did. And then, 2 months of compassion meditation and confidence meditation later, and I was walking around saying, everybody loves me. I have the best time ever. I make good vibes everywhere I go. And it changed how people treated me. And it changed what events I was invited to. And it changed who I met. And so that's one example. I could list many examples where transforming myself also transformed the world around me. Now, this statement that you wish you can control more, I want to be careful with that statement, because if we're expecting the world too much to be just perfect, that can be upsetting. And the reality is the world is just like it is. And yes, you can practice the things that you can have an influence on, and that's great. But please see the world as it is. Be that artist that's painting on the canvas of the world around you. It's not a different work of art. You might be able to imagine a different work of art and work your way to make the world better. But be with the work of art that is in front of us. Maybe you've got some terrible things happening around you, and you're like, how is that a work of art? Well, it's a small part of the whole universe. And if you go and put some wisdom or some love into some part, you can be amazing how much some parts of the world can change. But yeah, so back to the thing of wishing we had more control. My wish for everybody is that there's this famous serenity saying that I want to have the strength to transform the things that I can transform, and the wisdom to accept the things that I can't. And you can hear that saying every now and then, and it can be soothing. Or you could choose to really internalize that. I completely feel strong and wise for the things I cannot change, and I completely accept the things that I can't. And I propose that if you really internalize that mindset, you'll have a much greater peace. And if you're like, but I want to change things, I want to make things better, which is admirable and beautiful, I actually think if you have this peace and acceptance, and you are focusing on being empowered, you're more likely to make things better. Rebecca, I hope that was nice. All right, Lemon Wire says, sometimes we can't always project the most helpful way to go about something, and they find peacefulness to be really awesome. Actually, yeah, that's a great point. I love to talk about awesomeness or crafting a great response, but sometimes just finding peace and being still makes things better. And then often within the peace, you've got some space, a little bit of distance to be creative and come up with ways that are better too. Rebecca said psychological ATP helps our minds and emotion. Rebecca, if you want to explain what that means, I'm not sure. Wow, there's so much in the live chat. It's great to see you guys active. Okay, let me give a summary then. Lemon Wire says we can interpret things in a way that's helpful for us. Stay open to possibilities. Have that card up your sleeve for every situation. Pull out awesomeness. Well, so much. All right, Rebecca and Lemonwire, I'm going to let you guys just keep inspiring each other. And Lemonwire, thanks for the timestamps in here. It helps us to make the videos better. Oh, speaking of that, if anyone has any experience with live streaming and setting up like a welcome screen and maybe a nice transition or two, we thought that could help with the video. So if you have a graphic or you'd like to help, please let us know. So anyone that's here and anyone on the live chat have anything they'd like to say or ask about what we've talked about so far? I have a request. One thing I really strive for is for each topic to be well contained and maybe have a summary so that it's easy to remember. It's easy to go, hey, we just talked about that, and this can be my takeaway from that. And I know when there's a few questions going on and different things, I try to weave things together to be helpful for a few people. But if you ever notice me weaving too much or rambling, please tell me. I want to make sure that each moment of these classes is that everyone can really follow it and that everyone can enjoy it and make the most of it. And like I said before, being an artist, the aim I have is that I can be an artist that will affect billions of minds. And I have the same wish for all of you, that we could really be amazingly positive for as many people as possible. So please help me to be that for yourself, for each other, for the world. All right, I think it's time for meditation. So I invite everybody to get comfortable. Lemon Wire, could you put a timestamp for the start now? And as we begin the meditation, I invite you to close your eyes and just let your mind scan through your body. Feel the top of your head, and your forehead, and your eyes, and your cheekbones, your cheeks, and your jaw. And maybe have a little yawn or a stretch of the mouth. Oh. Then run the attention up the jaw and feel your ears, and the back of the head, and the neck. And some of you might notice that just by moving the awareness across the head, that the head feels different. Maybe relaxed, maybe warm, maybe some nice feeling. Some of you may have been practicing visual body scans, and as you scan through, you might have seen beautiful colors or felt into the muscles. So maybe your head's already feeling amazing. So let's just all take another slow deep breath and just feel your head relaxing, being present. And then let your attention move down through your neck. And as I feel my neck, I notice the alignment of my spine. And as I line up my head to be sitting more comfortably, more in alignment, I notice that also changes my shoulders and my back. So I just invite you to check your neck and your shoulders and your spine and how the muscles feel on your back. And just make some gentle adjustments, or maybe even big adjustments. Feel yourself moving in your body, in your posture, to find a posture that feels great. Notice if you take some really deep breaths as the lungs expand. Maybe you can feel that in the muscles in the back or in the spine. So take a few really deep breaths, stretch the breath almost as deep as you can go, and just use that awareness to make your posture feel even better. And then feel the spine further down the back and the muscles in the lower back. Maybe you could imagine a posture that feels inspired or empowered. And then feel your arms and your hands, and your legs and your feet. And then notice your whole body. And we'll take 3 slow deep breaths as we let our whole body be more comfortable, more at peace. And I invite you to keep noticing and appreciating whatever peace or calm that you've made. Keep noticing any ways that your state of mind has become more peaceful. If there's any parts of you that imagine or expect perfect meditation or perfect stillness, thank those parts of you and change them from an expectation into just an idea. What would it be like to be in perfect stillness or deep peace? Just letting yourself continue to appreciate and enjoy each moment. And if you have no expectations of meditation, or perhaps you're new to meditation, right now we're just letting ourselves go deeper into stillness, practicing peace to feel good in this moment, and also for peace and ease to be more a part of you. Maybe you could take a few breaths and feel great peace and great ease. It's actually part of you. Next, you could think of that idea of being an artist or creative with how you talk to yourself. And being an artist, playful, and creative with how you receive positivity. So as we keep breathing and just feeling peace and calm, each breath you take, you're just becoming that ease, that peace, more completely, more beautifully. And this is a gift for yourself, so you know the ways that it will be helpful for you. Just breathe into whatever will be good for you. Next we'll do another body scan. So again, feel the top of the head, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the ears, the mouth. feel into the neck. Feel all the muscles in the neck. Then feel all the muscles in the shoulders. And as you scan through the body, you can let each muscle relax and let go. Feel more at ease. And then you feel the edge of the shoulders where they meet the arms. And feel down through the arms, the biceps and the triceps, the muscles in the forearms, the backs of the hands, through to the palms of the hands, the thumbs and the fingers. Noticing wherever you feel the nicest feelings in the hands, fingers, arms, or shoulders. Take a deep breath and bring those nicest feelings into the chest. Take those nice feelings down into the abdomen. Imagine all your internal organs, all your inner muscles, just being perfectly at peace. The peace in the hips, the muscles in the legs, let them relax completely. The knees. Oh, you may need to bring your awareness back up through the posture and find that posture that feels wonderful. Take a few breaths. As you feel the neck and the spine and the legs all relaxing perfectly, sitting in perfect alignment. As we finish the body scan through the knees, calves, the ankles, the feet, the soul. Breathe deep and feel your whole self, appreciating the peace. Noticing whatever ways your mind has become calmer. And as you notice that, you get even more of that calm. Noticing whatever peaceful or nice feelings there are. And as you notice them, the next few breaths you feel even more of that peace and calm. And you can start to imagine all the beautiful ways that this peace and calm will bring peace and calm into you. Receive this ease or peace into yourself. And we're going to take some stronger breaths as you imagine how you would like to craft this feeling, how you would like to craft yourself. Perhaps it's a deeper peace. Perhaps it's a joyful ease. Perhaps it's a wonderful confidence. Perhaps it's a mindful awareness in each moment. So let's just take some stronger breaths as you shape this feeling, as you shape yourself with what you're cultivating. Notice your awareness right now. Notice what you are contemplating or how you're feeling. And with just a few minutes more of meditation, keep watching your awareness. And choose what to do with these precious moments. I'm kind to myself. I choose to practice being empowered. I'm cultivating a consciousness where I'm fully in control of my inner world. As I meditate with more fine-grained awareness, I can see more closely every thought and feeling. I can see what some people would call the subconscious. I'm able to be an artist with every part of myself. And when you're ready, if you're deep in meditation, you've got about a minute to bring yourself back. If your mind's already ready, you could just think about the main themes from your meditation, or to say them to yourself again, or to make some decisions or affirmations. Or if you're still deep in the relaxation, you might want to stretch or become aware of your body. You might want to really practice watching your consciousness as it transforms from meditation back into the temple. Just bringing yourself out of the meditation in a way that feels really good, that appreciates the gift you gave yourself, that remembers, strengthens and highlights the positivity. Perhaps you had some insights into meditation or different perspectives and focus that's very helpful. Maybe you could imagine internalizing those insights forever. Perhaps you had some insights into the mind or into consciousness, a shift in perspective. You could think of yourself differently now. Perhaps you just were peaceful. You can enjoy that peace and imagine yourself carrying that peace with you. It's like a card up your sleeve that you can pull out anytime you need. And now I want to open it up to all of you here in the temple or on the live stream. First, if there's any nice feelings or insights or something good that you want to share, and then we could move into questions or anything trickier. But let's start with the positivity, the appreciation, just so we really reinforce the beautiful skills that you're practicing and the goodness of it. And I also want to say, sometimes I've had people say, they've say it to me afterwards, in that meditation, I saw these blue lightning bolts of goodness that came through and transformed me, but I couldn't share that afterwards because it's too far out. Or, I tapped into infinite love. If you ever have a moment in your meditation that's amazing, please share it. It inspires each other. So I found in that meditation the peace that I felt in my body and my mind on the second body scan was just so soothing. I just felt like carrying this peace into everything. Not just the idea of it. I felt carrying that peace into everything. So that's what I wanted to share. I'd love to hear if anyone else has anything they'd like to share. Lemon Wire shared in the chat that creativity and balance are super powerful, superpowers. It's good to have you here, Lemon Wire. So does anyone have any questions or perhaps anything else they'd like to say or ask about the meditation? I'd love to hear from at least one of you. Barracks, what's on your mind right now?
Well, I was just when I was meditating, I was thinking about deep-seated emotional pain in myself and others, and how it affects people's lives. I thought a lot about my parents, and, when they split up, thought about how that must have felt for both of them. I've recently kind of heard a little bit from both of them about how it felt. So that's been on my mind a lot lately as well. And I just was thinking about how useful all this would have been a long time ago.
Thanks for sharing so openly. I said what motivates me to do these classes is this vision of a world where everyone's fully empowered to be completely in control of themselves. And yes, that's what motivates me now. But actually what started this for me was this deep-seated pain in myself and in other people I knew. And I mean, we could start talking about where we've seen pain really hurt people or take their lives. Like, it's terrible. And if we meditate with compassion for others, we can see that the world has so much room for more awareness, for more choice. And when I say that, I mean, there are people hurting, and there's room for us to love them and care for them and lift each other up and to live a different way and to think a different way. And Barracks, I wish I could give you a hug right now.
Thank you.
I also like that you said this would have been so helpful. I look across my life and people who I've helped, and it's wonderful. And the people who I tried to help and it didn't work. Or maybe it did work. Maybe if I hadn't been there, it might have been much worse. And yeah, I can only say that the more we cultivate these skills, the more we share it. Maybe some of those people, if it wasn't just me helping, if they'd had 3 other people around them being mindful and positive, it might have been helpful. The more we spread awareness, the more we spread positivity, the more it will help. And my hope is next month there'll be more people in the world who have awesomeness, mindfulness, positive choices in their life. And next generation, I hope that people grow up in a world where everyone has more access to choosing positive states, and the ways that they think about their minds and about their culture is infused with choosing. And at some point, whether it's 10 years from now or 100 years from now or 1,000 years from now, I imagine a world where everybody has this positive awareness all the time. And I hope we can bring that about as soon as possible. So, Barracks, whoever those people you were thinking about with the deep-seated pain, I feel for them and I love them. And I just hope we can bring enlightenment fully to all of you as much as possible. Thanks for sharing. Larnak, it's great to have you joining us here in VR for the first time. I know you've been on the live stream. I'd love to hear what's on your mind right now, or thoughts from the meditation.
What's on my mind is mostly gratitude for you to hold this space where we can have peacefulness in this chaotic world. And I appreciate having this opportunity to try to craft myself into someone with less suffering.
I'm so glad you're here.
I think that's well said. Just how... Sorry, I know there might have been a bit of an accent there, but I guess I got the gist where it was quite poignant, the words that you were describing just bettering yourself with by coming here and having this available to you. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, Lemonwire, I just saw you typed in the chat. Being your better self invites a better world too. So yeah, it's a gift that we give ourselves, and it keeps giving each moment of our life to every person we're around.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Because now I feel even more enlightened too, you know?
Wonderful. Lanak, I know you and I were chatting this week about meditation and about the mind that's still doing things, even though sometimes people think meditation's supposed to be just total stillness. I thought of you in today's meditation when I said, if you have this expectation of total stillness, thank that idea of what a nice meditation will be, but bring your focus into appreciating whatever good feeling you've got. In the meditation, were you able to have most of the appreciation and focus, or not even most, but a lot on the peace and the nice feelings you were making?
I had enough that it was very valuable, so I appreciate that. It was, as usual, not all the time, but I still had time to reflect on what I would like to be and try to find ways to be creative about it, but it's still hard to imagine how to change how I see myself.
Cool, thanks for sharing. So first, I'm glad you had those good moments, and I'm glad that you had some of internalizing it. I want to talk a little bit. Oh no. Okay, to all of you on the live stream, sorry that the chat just crashed.
He's just joined back.
I'm back. Hey, everybody.
Oh, that's awesome. Welcome back. Did you catch all of that?
I caught nothing. Oh, I caught what Larnack said, and then I started to talk and things crashed.
Oh yeah, as soon as you started to talk, I imagine is when you disconnected. However.
Yeah. Great. So Larnack was
Larnack,
just...
would you, I guess,
I wanted
reinterpret
to...
what you just asked for the chat?
I don't remember.
There was something you said that I wanted to respond to, that maybe you could take that time to see if the other question comes back to mind. But you said you didn't know how to be creative with it. That's a really good point. Is it a new idea? Do we know our brain instantly has a good idea? Like if I choose I want to be confident, do I know how to be confident? When I choose that I want to be happy, do I know how to be happy? Like deeply actually happy? Maybe when we start to decide things we want to practice, we might not actually know how to do them. Do we know how to be creative? Do we know how to be a great artist? Do we know how to have some awesome sports skill? No. I mean, sometimes you do. Sometimes just the idea and imagining it, boom, you can step into it and you can see yourself being it. But sometimes we can't. And I've found that if I just set the intention that I'm practicing it, even if I don't know what it's going to be like, I imagine that my subconscious is like figuring it out. So if I just keep setting the intention, maybe like 2 or 3 days into holding that intention, on the third day I'm like, oh, I can start to feel it. Or I could start to see how it'd be like that. Or maybe, I said a few things like dancing into something positive or laughing into something positive or thinking of yourself as a super brain programmer that changes your axioms. Maybe one of the ideas I said in 2 days from now will just click and you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm going to just hug myself into awesomeness. So I guess my point is sometimes when we want to transform, we don't know what that's going to look like. But I invite you to imagine that your subconscious, your inner creativity is awesome. And if you hold your attention on an idea, and any little bit of the idea that you feel, you just make that bigger, you'll fill in the gaps. You'll draw that picture. You'll know what it feels like. And that might take a week of meditating on that morning and night. And I say that because there are many things about myself that I transformed that at the start I had no idea what it would be like to be better. I just knew that I wanted to be happy, or I knew that I wanted to be comfortable around people. And it was a week of morning and night saying I'm comfortable around people before I started to feel it and I started to be able to imagine what it'd be like. And then once that seed blossoms, or not just blossoms, but it starts to come up and you can see this idea that you've planted growing, then you can feel it more and you can see the beauty of it and it grows faster and it blossoms more. So I am happy to meet this new creative brain programmer, meditator, enlightened being that is becoming in you.
Yes, thank you. I agree that having our attention on it makes all the parts of your brain thinking about it, and eventually ideas can spring.
Awesome. I believe in you. You believe in me. We believe in each other.
Yes, we do it.
Great. I'm going to check the live stream, and if anyone here has any other questions. All right. Oops.
I think the most powerful word in Buddhism that I've ever come into contact with has been mindfulness. Like, that could just describe almost anything when it comes to just expanding your mind on how to better yourself and thus others.
So I've seen mindfulness used slightly differently by different people. When I use the word, I'm normally thinking of being aware of your awareness, being aware what you're thinking, being aware of the emotion that you're doing, being aware of what you're acting, and also knowing that you could change it or you could shift your focus onto something else. Is that the same or similar idea of mindfulness you were meaning?
I mean, I could definitely interpret it that way as well, is my suggestion that everyone in this room would probably have a different answer to what mindfulness means to them.
So you were saying that from all the things you've read, it seems like mindfulness is one of the most powerful, most helpful things. Can you tell us what you were thinking?
It invites another to speak about what mindfulness means to them, to ask them that. So you could get a lot of just overall how they view the world and how they treat the world by just what they focus their intentions on and, like, you know, try to express it in a most valuable way. I feel like time is gratuitous, providing somebody with that time to be more mindful, which is why I intrinsically value mindfulness with, you know, that kind of offering of your time to explain what that means.
Yeah, really noticing what other people think or what their focus is on can help so much with understanding and connection. I see almost every disagreement is when people just assume the other person means something wrong, when if they knew what the other person meant, they would they would see their point.
Yeah, absolutely. Communication, you know, is very gratuitous.
You said something
So thank you all for sharing.
you said something just then that I thought was helpful. You said giving people time. Perhaps you asked before about how to help someone who's having a really hard time. Um, Something I've noticed is that I can give some positive feeling or some perspective, and sometimes people are like, "Oh, I get it. Boom, I'm changed." And sometimes they'll come up to me a year later or a few years later and be like, "Hey, that thing you said, it stuck with me. I didn't really get it, but then a year later it just clicked, and bang, now it's transformed everything." Or I've had people come up to me and they're like, "Hey, I know you were just trying to give love, and at the time I was just too down to really receive it properly, but I appreciate it. And as I've been getting better, I just think of that, and it's just made me feel better and better." So I like to think of it as like if every mind is a garden, I'm sowing seeds of love, peace, and kindness, and strength, and whatever you think of. And lots of them might not even sprout until next season. So I just want to put out as many of those good seeds as I can. And thanks for reminding me of that with lemon wire. Sometimes with some people, I kind of hope that I give them the seed and they'll grow it straight away. And I think it's more skillful to just keep giving the seeds and know they'll all blossom in their own time. I mean, some won't, some will be lost, but you sow enough and many of them will blossom. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. It's always tough when, you know, you find those who are struggling and it feels like you could give them the world if you could, but that, that's not always the case. We do have to consider that we've provided them, I guess, with the tools. And I wish more and more people in the world can see that this is one of those tools to be able to come and express yourself here.
We just had Usp. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name properly. On Twitch, just asked, what headset am I streaming from? The quality's super good. So I'm actually on an Oculus Quest, and I'm connected to a PC. So the PC is what gives the extra graphics and the streaming. Thanks for asking. And second, welcome to the temple. We've had a contemplation about how to be more creative with how we talk to ourselves and others. And we had a little meditation with how we could receive positivity more. And we had quite a big talk about the power of positivity and how to help others and care for others and be kind to ourselves. And just before you walked in, we finished a meditation where we were practicing feeling deep peace. So I did a body scan, which is a way to make every part of your body relax, and it also makes your mind really relaxed. And some of you might have noticed, as we did that, I also just kept describing peace and calm, and many of you would have noticed that that made your mind go into more peace and calm. So I invite you in your own meditations, as you're sitting, also imagine or even say the states of mind that you want to practice. Yeah, so we spent, 10 minutes, 20 minutes sitting in this deep, peaceful feeling, training that into how we felt and how we think and who we are. And then we just came out and we're chatting about it. And so welcome. We do this every week, a few times a week in this temple, so please come back anytime you want. Cool. Does anyone else have any other questions or thoughts?
If I may, I would like to add something regarding helping other or how to be in that position, because I've been doing that a lot, and I realize that it's super important to be mindful of our own limit and have compassion regarding that and have boundaries and self-care, because going down with people that are struggling will not help them, and you will have more people miserable. So I find that self-care and having boundaries, even if it's hard because you see people suffering, is the best thing you can offer yourself and others.
So I had a good decade of my life where I had definitely trained my mind, programmed myself, that helping other people purely made me more enlightened. You could give me the hardest situation someone was going through, and it just inspired me to give them love, to dive into their mind and find every part of them I could give love to. Just describing it, it energized me. It made me feel great. And like a decade later of just helping people constantly, And I'd been like traveling the world doing this. And then I kind of noticed, hey, I'm homeless and I've I've got nothing. And part of me was kind of inspired to do that. You know, it's what monks do, or it's what in some religions is like the holy thing to do to to just be selfless, helping others. Um, so to agree with you is, even though I had made it so that it completely fulfilled me and it was joyous and wonderful, um, it still had been not great for my life. Um, and I think a more important question is to ask yourself, like, what do you want to do with your time? And I hope every one of us wants to help others. So then how could you help others in a way that's bigger? So here I am now in a VR headset and we're broadcasting it. And I'd like to produce these in a way that it's a lot catchier, that millions of people want to watch them. And so we're heading towards that. And as a traveling pauper, I don't know if I ever would have got to that. But now that I'm spending more time on my own security and finances, I now have more chance to do that. Focusing more on how to build a team of people who are helping each other with it. Perhaps you might want to write a poem to your friends that's helpful, or sing a song to them. Perhaps you'd like to host a relaxation exercise event for all your friends. There's so many ways in which we can spread positivity, and finding the ways that you will be most fed by, that will help more and that enrich your life, and also, um, don't give your whole self away. I hope we can all find a way to make our lives awesome for ourselves and awesome for our impact on the planet. So, Barracks, maybe next week you can tell us that poem. That was meant to be a joke.
Poem.
The poem you're going to come up with that makes your friends laugh and makes them happy. Sorry, obviously it wasn't a very good
Well,
joke. Yeah, that
no,
poem.
it's okay. I was actually thinking about a dream that I had last night, that I actually wrote down earlier, and I was just thinking about it. And when you said that, I was like, wait, did I mention that earlier?
Cool. Well, maybe you want to share it with us or with those people around you, if that's suitable.
Yeah, if you guys want to hear it, I can tell you.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of long. Well, it took a long time to write anyway. Probably won't take very long to read. 1 second. Okay. Last night I had a dream. It was a really beautiful summer day. It wasn't too hot, and I walked barefoot through the forest. The forest floor was soft and covered in leaves, or grass, or moss, but hardly any rocks. And there were little patches here and there that weren't covered up by the shade of the trees. When I walked on these spots, the ground was really warm. It was nice. There was also a cool breeze rolling through the trees, and I could hear them moving. I carried a kayak with me, and eventually I began to hear the sound of moving water, trickling through the underbrush at first, then splashing onto rocks in tiny little waterfalls. I continued walking, and the sound of rushing water grew louder and louder. I didn't hear the trickling anymore, but instead I heard the sounds of fast-moving water. I made my way to the edge and launched my boat from a gentle area. I paddled out to the center and started going faster. There were these parts of the stream that looked kind of scary, the water falling over some rocks that got in its way, and then crashing down to the pools below. Places where water gets trapped and swirls around before finding itself moving on to the next place. It was easy at first to avoid these rocky areas, but it wasn't long before they were everywhere, and the water was crashing all around. When it became too much to avoid them altogether, I decided to try and choose the path where I felt safest. Even in the safest spots, I could hear the rocks banging against my boat. It was scary for a little while, but I loved doing it. There were a few times where I got stuck, but eventually I was able to push myself out. And after doing that for a while, I came to a place that could hardly be called a stream. It was more like a river, with huge boulders spread throughout it. In this place, it felt more like the river was deciding where I was going instead of me, and all I could do was hold on for dear life and try to keep myself from hitting the rocks too hard. It was scary, and it was difficult, but I got through somehow, and after a little while the water level started to rise again, and the river was gentle. I could decide exactly where I wanted to be, and it was very nice and peaceful. I felt the warm sun on my face, and I closed my eyes and let the gentle current carry me a little further. It was beautiful, and I felt safe again. I could just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of nothing but the water, and the wind, and the birds. Eventually I ended up in a lake, and spent the rest of the day paddling to different places. That's it.
Wow, I'm so glad I asked. It was a beautiful dream.
Thank you.
Maybe you'd like to share the live stream recording of you saying that with your friend who you've been caring for lately. But at the very least, I hope you read that to them. It was great.
I actually sent that to them earlier. I wrote it down.
Hey, awesome.
Thank you. I closed my eyes and it was really nice to follow and well written. I really appreciated it.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Should we?
I think I was trying to tell them something with that. You know, even if things are difficult now, it's worth it in the end.
When you said it got to a point where there was the rocks and the swirls everywhere, and even on the easiest path there was still all the rocks bumping, and you even got stuck for parts, in that moment I thought of them, that maybe they would really relate to that bit of the story. And then from there it was a reminder that even after that we can get to those beautiful sunny days where things are peaceful and life's lovely. I liked also that you said you enjoyed the ride, because it is possible to enjoy whatever life throws at us. It might take practice or a different state of mind, but there are definitely states of mind that can do that.
Thank you.
Lately, most of the meditations I've been guiding have been breath, body scans, or maybe some positive idea here or there. But I love that you actually took us on a journey, and you can actually use that in your meditations. Some of you may have been with me for one of our lake or mountain meditations, and if you were to read that dream again and sort of someone said they closed their eyes and imagined it, if you were to go through and meditate on each part of the story, like visualize it as vividly as you could, you can turn that into one of those cards up your sleeve. If there's ever rocks bumping, you just remember, hey, I'm riding through the rapids. If you ever feel stuck, you just remember, hey, in just a moment I'm going to zip through into the beautiful lake.
I think it's a beautiful interpretation of just like using your world as your canvas. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening.
Alright guys, I have just a few minutes left. I would love to just hang out with you all forever, but I have promised baby Judy. So, let me just check if there's any comments on the live stream. Cool. Everyone who's been commenting on the live stream, thank you so much for being here with us. Rebecca, you said a lot, and I'd like to invite you to come into the temple next time. If you can somehow get a Windows computer, you can join us with VR chat, even if you don't have a VR headset. And we're trying to find a way to have people be able to speak into the temple, even if they don't have VR chat, maybe from some kind of video call, and we'll just have the audio come in. So thank you everyone for being here. The meditation was great for me. The discussions were re-strengthening and re-reminder for me, and I hope also for you. For those of you who are newish to this community, this temple was created by Zenkei. He's he is the founder and one of the teachers here, and the entry process that we had coming into the temple, and the starting with the setting the intention for the session, that was crafted by him and his team, and they also chose to finish the sessions with a dedication. So I invite everybody to stand, and we're just going to have a dedication for the end. So similar to our intention setting, where we would really devote this time with focus and strength to give ourselves the best gift we can. Let's dedicate the time that we took. Any precious gems we had, that we'll continue to cherish them and practice them. Any seeds we learned, let's keep sowing them. Any ways our meditation practice cultivated, let's continue to practice it every day. Give it as a gift to yourself, as a gift to the people that you care about. A future world where everyone is mindful, everyone is fully empowered. A world that's free from suffering. And I can say that in one sentence, a world that's free from suffering. But think about it, envisage it, how beautiful it is what we're practicing and what we're helping to create. Let's dedicate everything we learned to that world and keep practicing it, keep being it. So as we leave the temple, I invite you to bow to the enlightened being and see a world where everybody is enlightened. So as you bow, connect with that world that is free from suffering. We're dedicating our practice and our time to that. And we're being a creative artist with the words we say to others, the words we say to ourselves, and with how we internalize every bit of positivity. All right. Thank you all for joining us. This has been great. Everyone on the live stream, we now hang out here in VR, so we'd love you to join us in future sessions. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with others. And may you continue to practice meditation beautifully, calmly, and easily every day.